It's the Duffin Up Podcast. What is going on, Duff Daddies and Duff Mamas? It is Thursday, September 29th. I almost forgot the date. That would have been really bad on me. And welcome to the Duffin Up Podcast. My name is Brendan Monroe. As always, we are not joined by Michael tonight, just because he is on daddy duty, so we will not be seeing him. But we do have the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Irish Chooch, Timmy O'Reilly. Timmy, calling in from the fire station. How are we doing tonight?
What's going on, Brendan? Have you ever forgotten the date? It's something that goes underappreciated because I never have to look at the date before we start this, and you always remember the date, or you always look at. Is that something you have to prepare for before we start?
No, so it's very helpful that I have my Mac and I just have it on the top, so it just says, date. And we record the night before, so I'm like, oh, it's Wednesday, September 28th. We'll add a day. So Thursday, September 29th. We're rolling, baby. We are rolling, and I just didn't check it before, so I had to find it up here.
No, I appreciate the work you do behind the scenes. It often goes unlooked and underappreciated. So, yeah, thanks for remembering the dates all the time.
Little industry secret telling the listeners that we do it. We say the wrong date just so for when it's released.
I know. Right. It's like a magician never reveals his tricks, and I just revealed my trick to everyone.
We're fully transparent here.
Magic isn't real anyway, right?
Hey, don't tell 6-year-old Brendan that, okay? He would be very mad at you.
Were you a magic guy?
Oh my God, I freaking loved magic growing up. I thought it was so funny. I mean, not funny, but like I was mystified by it. I had no idea. Whenever they cut open the people, I legitimately thought they cut them in half. Like I was too much of a dum-dum to realize they just pushed through legs onto the other side. And it was just like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Did you ever give magic a go yourself? Like, did you do it?
No. That would be an epic story. That would be honestly, it might even be on point. But
like uncover some home video of you doing a magic show for the parents.
Imagine that. The Magnificent cool. Monroe. Oh,
Magnificent Monroe.
Wow.
Speaking of which, we have not even introduced our man. He is back from the very, very sunny and very beautiful islands of Hawaii, because we're going to save for which ones he went to, because he's going to tell us some stories. But Ryan O'Reilly, back on the mainland.
Aloha.
Probably a little depressed, but that's okay. You're allowed to be. But aloha to you, bra guy.
Yeah, aloha. Post-vacation depression is real. I am not that I'm miserable, but it was much happier, much warmer, much more peaceful there on the island. I'm just fully transitioning my clock from island time to Brookline time, I guess, is Eastern Standard Time.
Those are very different times. Very different times.
Very different times.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I was golfing this morning in pants and a quarter zip. I was like, oh man, this was it's crazy. I packed as I was unpacking yesterday or 2 days ago. I was pulling out all the long sleeves. I had like pants. I had a couple like a quarter zip and stuff. And I was like, I didn't touch these, because normally when you go, say, to Florida or somewhere warm, it gets cool at night, and so you are throwing on like a quarter zip for dinner or whatever. But I didn't touch it once. It was hot all day, all night, in a good way. But it was like hot, it was like in the 80s, so it wasn't like unbearable, and I loved it. There was a constant breeze. Even when it rained, like it would rain for like 15 minutes, and it was still like warm out, and so we didn't even mind the rain, honestly. But no, it was beautiful. I flew into Honolulu airport there, and we stayed on that island, island of Oahu, which was great. We rented a car because the wedding. So we got in Sunday. The wedding wasn't until Thursday. So nice. My girlfriend and I, we rented a car and we bounced around the island of Oahu. We went hiking. We went to every beach, snorkeling, you name it. It was amazing. I couldn't have planned a better trip. The wedding was beautiful too. On Thursday, it was my girlfriend's brother. He was getting married right on the beach. It was a beach wedding, surrounded, like the beach was beautiful itself, blue water, huge waves, and then it was surrounded by like volcanoes, palm trees. It was just immaculate. I'm riding high still off of the trip. Even here, what is it, Thursday of this week. I'm still riding high, but good to be back. And I did to transition back to the golf podcast. We did play one round of golf, and it was a more casual, laid back round because we had the bride's parents, my girlfriend, her father, the groom, and the groom's best man. And so outside of myself and my girlfriend and her dad, no one really golfs regularly. So we played like an executive course that was all mainly all par threes, except for the last 2 or 3 holes were par fours, and they were drivable par fours. So, but the course itself was immaculate. It was like a lot of tropical climate courses. The grass was pretty rough, like not rough, but it was like hard. It wasn't like the soft, luscious grass that we're all used to here, at least for the public courses, at least. And but it was great conditions, and again, surrounded, all of Hawaii, you're surrounded by volcanoes and palm trees and stuff, but it was just immaculate all together. So it was an awesome time playing there. Rented a set of clubs, which was great, and they were all Cobra clubs, pretty good clubs there, and I didn't lose a single ball, which was great. I feel like that's a big win, because with rental clubs, you're bound to not hit the ball how you normally hit them. And granted, it was an executive course, but it was great. 10 out of 10 would recommend, both golf wise and just vacation wise.
I don't know how you didn't lose a single ball. Like, I feel like I go to par 3 courses and I still lose balls. So.
Yeah, it was, we ended up we played, like I said, because a lot of the people that we had 2 foursomes. And so a majority of the people that we were playing with were new to golf. So we did switch to like a scramble format, and played a scramble there, which was absolutely fun. And even more so, I feel like scrambles is when you lose balls the most too, because you're just ripping and ripping it. But I was paired with the bride. So it was a two-person scramble. So it was the bride and I, and nice. She doesn't golf much. So I couldn't just grip it and rip it for the most part. I had to do a lot, but she hit the putts that I didn't hit. It's just, I feel like the old saying, putt like a kid. No need to read it. Just grip it and rip it on the greens kind of thing. And so she hit a lot of good clutch putts there. So it was fun. It was a blast. Great to be back in this nice cold weather. I say cold relatively just because it's not 86 and sunny, but happy to be back, and excited. I'm sorry for missing last week's pod. It was a good one. I listened to it with Ryan, and especially disappointed that I missed episode 69. Are you kidding me? The one I missed. That's a big bummer.
Oh,
I wasn't gonna bring it up. I was not gonna bring it up, but Bry Guy brought it up. You did miss episode 60. Mike would have made a much big. Mike also missed episode 69. So if Mike was on that podcast, it would have gone like 3 hours, just because Mike would have been making 69 jokes the entire time and just giggling to himself.
Just for my own pleasure, you should have done the episode 68 and a half and then make this episode 69. But
that would have been epic. That would have been fantastic.
I'm glad I didn't know it was episode 69, or else I would have been very immature for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said no. I never say the episode numbers. I need to start doing that again. So we're good on the dates. We're bad on the episode numbers. Need to get the episode numbers back into play.
Brian, what was it like to see a volcano? I don't know. I've never seen a volcano in real life. What was it like to see a volcano like in person, like in the flesh? It's like a president. You've seen the president on TV, but I've never seen a living president in person. Was it like was it shocking? Was it, describe that?
So great question, because in my head, and I feel like in a lot of people's heads, a volcano, you just picture it being like a mountain that has potential to erupt. But so when we got there, I was just like, knowing it was all, I mean, basically the islands are all made of like lava, or like it's basically that's how they were formed. And
Right.
so we're driving by all these volcanoes, and so in my head I was just like, okay, that peak is a volcano, that peak is a volcano. But it comes to turn out that the entire thing, volcanoes are almost 100 times bigger than I thought, because the entire range of these peaks that I thought were individual volcanoes, the entire range is just the inside, like the rim of a volcano that can go for like 50 miles. Like it's like these things are freaking huge. Like it's absolutely insane. I'll have to show you pictures, but I thought that, yeah, like I thought they were just like individual mountains, but the like 50 or so peaks is just like the inner, or just the rim of one volcano. And so for the most part, like you'll have like, if you're facing the ocean and the rim is like this behind you, so it's like basically like my collar, half of the volcano is actually sunken and in the water. So like,
Wow.
basically it's just like a mountain range here and here, and this part like on my collar here is the water and the ocean, and it's just half of the rim in the water. So it was immaculate. And I want to go, like I want to go back to Hawaii to begin with, just in general, because there's a few other islands too that we're able to go to. Some islands tourists aren't able to go to, you have to be a resident of Hawaii. But the ones that you can go to, like the Big Island, which is actually called Hawaii, they have a national park there with active volcanoes and
Cool.
such, kind of like similar to, I guess, like Yellowstone. So when I go back, I want to go to the Big Island and see like an active volcano, or at least, even if it's not like smoking or seeing lava or anything, just knowing that it's active is like, I think would be really cool.
Right.
But yeah, 10 out of 10. And it's cool because you can go to like you can do like day trips to the other islands for like 50 to $70. You can just take a flight from island to island and go, kind of similar to like the Aran Islands in Ireland, or even Block Island, I guess. Just go there for the day and then come back. So when you're there, like the main airport is Honolulu, coming from the mainland, and then you can kind of go to a few other islands like Maui or the Big Island, Hawaii. But yeah, so answer your question, the volcano thing is insane, because I didn't realize that they were like that big.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
Did you go to Pearl Harbor and see the USS Arizona?
Yeah, so we didn't actually end up going to Pearl Harbor, but I mean, the funny thing is the main highway. So there's like one main highway, and the name of the highway, for all you Dragon Ball Z fans, is the Kamehameha Highway.
Yeah.
So that's the highway there. But yeah, so when you're driving down that highway, there you'll see signs, and it was like a couple miles from like Waikiki in the Honolulu area where I was for the majority of it. So I would see signs for Pearl Harbor and such, because it's a huge harbor, and basically a majority of Hawaii is just all like Army naval bases there. So it's very active military there. But what I missed out on, because the golf course that we played, is when I was looking at pictures and reviews leading up to it, some of the pictures showed that you can see Pearl Harbor and the USS Arizona Memorial from the golf course, but we only played the front 9, and so I didn't get to see it from there. So I guess the back 9 is where you get the view of seeing Pearl Harbor and the monument and memorial. So that's also something I'll have to go back and actually do. We just didn't have much time. It was like a lot of family time, but also just wedding and stuff. So so more reason to go back too.
Cool.
No, that
Speaking
sounds.
of travel back, did Mrs. Monroe have a nice trip, and is she back? Our tournament sponsor.
She is not back. I know, our presenting sponsor. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, Mama Monroe is on a flight back from JFK to Boston right now. She spent a lovely time in Greece, and then that leads us into our little golfing trip because she's a part of this charity called My Brother's Keeper. It's a great organization, very, very nice people, fantastic. I used to volunteer there where I was a kid, but they have a golf tournament every year, and so obviously she gets to go because she's heavily involved in it. So
Brian,
she could.
Mrs. Monroe, she is like a big wig over there. There's like they're calling her name at the raffles. They're like Nancy Monroe. And she's like, I don't know. I don't know. She's just
not surprised in the least. I'm not surprised. I love to hear that.
No, great cause, great lady.
Yeah. She couldn't play, so she gave the tickets to the Duffin Up boys, and we went in, and our team name was Nancy Monroe, and everyone looked at us when there was and everyone kind of looked at us, and they're like, "You're not Nancy Monroe," but we went in, we shot 14 under as a group, and we got the dub.
Oh my God!
Yeah, tell me about it. What went well? Obviously you won, so more went well than not. But what went well? What didn't go well?
What went well is they sold mulligans.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna ask about that.
So we bought mulligans. I think they were $10 a mully, or $10 a mully, I think. And so you get up to 8 mulligans. And boy, did we used all 8. And it came in very handy. It came in very, very handy.
Yeah.
What are your feelings
on that? How do you guys feel about being able to purchase mulligans? I know like it ended up helping you win, but overall thoughts. I feel like Tim's got a strong opinion on those.
Well, either everybody gets the same amount without buying them. So say you get 8 mulligans. I think everyone, no matter how, whether you have to pay for them or not, everyone should get 8 mulligans, or 0 at all. I love not having them, but if there's going to be mulligans, I would love it if everyone had the fair share of everybody gets 8 mulligans, which I'm sure a lot of people did, and it's for a good cause, so it's tough. But it was it does seem like the score was not illegitimate because everyone got the opportunity to buy the mulligan, but in the moment it was an absolute blast. It was so much fun. It's tough to rat on the mulligans because there was a couple of them that really could have tipped the iceberg in the correct way. I don't even think that's a saying. It's not a saying, but I'm gonna go with it. So mulligans, either everyone gets them or no one gets them. And but boy, it was a riot. It was a riot, Mike would say. It was so much fun. Thank you, Nancy, for having us there. That was great.
The scramble format, that's how it was. What else?
Yep.
Do they have any air cannons, any other prizes?
No. This is a nice little Catholic organization, so they're not gonna
no weaponry.
No weaponry. They had a longest drive, which Tim won.
Hey,
so
finally.
Absolutely hammered. Tim, how far do you I think I hit one of the best drives of my entire life. And for full context, I won the long drive last year. So Tim beat me this year. I was very upset about it. But
you don't understand. We had 4 dynamite drives on that hole. And Brendan, after we all finished, Brendan's like, why did we all have to hit those drives on this hole?
Yeah. Why couldn't one of us saved it? Because then we had 4 garbage drives on the next hole.
Yes.
All of us had absolutely garbage drives. So
how many mullies do you use on that one?
None. We didn't use a single one. Nope. We only used we agreed you use mullies on the green and I think we only used the mullies on the green. I don't think we ever had a mulligan. No matter how much Mike wanted a mulligan. Mike wanted mulligans after every shot.
We did do one chip. We did
We did one chip. We did one chip on the 18th hole. That's right, because we were all like 20 feet away, and then I tried to re-chip it, and it and blew it past the hole. Oh my goodness!
I feel like the putting is where you at least are. The way that all of us play is we scramble. Like we're not in a scramble format, but we scramble out there. We're absolutely saving pars. We're saving bogeys. So it's like we're used to having fixing a bad tee shot or a bad approach or whatever. But putting, yeah, I feel like because that's in any of the scrambles. I feel like yeah, you get four tries at it with 4 different putts, but boy, is it heartbreaking when you miss right, when you miss left, when you miss long, when you miss short. That's tough.
The thing
we also started very similar. We also started did we go 5 under through the first 5 holes or 6 under through we started very similar, and then we started parring, and I was like, ruh-roh, like we're back. We're back. We almost had a Nathan Parker Classic repeat where we just kept parring for no reason whatsoever. But no, we had a great round.
Everybody hit like one monumental shot that made the difference. Brendan hit like this unbelievable 3-wood from like 240 yards onto the green, and it was the best shot. I mean, I've only played a few rounds with you, Brendan, but that was the best shot I've ever seen you hit.
And then we all read the putt wrong.
Right, we all read the putt wrong. And then Jimmy had a chip in on a par 3, and the people behind us were watching, and they erupted when we erupted. Jimmy chipped in. It was great. Mike had he had a few good putts, but on the last hole, we used a mulligan. We had one mulligan left, right? And the putt was probably what?
40 feet, 40 feet, 45 feet.
And we're like, there's no way. I mean, we had a mulligan left anyway, and he drained it. We didn't know how much we were going to win by. We ended up winning by 2, I believe, Brendan, right?
Yes. We didn't even need the mulli on the last hole, but it was just in case, because what they had the leaderboard online too. And I was keeping track of our score, and I was like, so Timmy was writing it on the card and I was keeping it on the phone. So I had the live leaderboard going the entire time, and I was just like, okay, we're doing good. Okay, we're doing good. Oh, wait, why do I only see 3? Like, why do I only see 3 groups on here? There's like 40 of us. There's 40. I think there was 42 groups, 43 groups. And then I realized that it was just showing the top 3, and you had to click in to see the full leaderboard. And we were at the top, and I saw that by hole 9, we were at the top, and I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I don't know. Maybe like a lot of groups aren't using it. By like hole 13, I clicked in and I saw that we were at the top of everyone. And I was like, oh shit. Like, okay. I was like, do I tell everyone or do I not tell everyone? And I didn't tell everyone. And then we got to hole 17, and I turned to Timmy and I'm like, do not tell Mike, but we're up by 1 right now. And he's like, no worries. So we're going back in, and I'm just like, and then Mike's like, yeah, how do you think we did? I was like, I think we won. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I had the live leaderboard app the entire time, and we're currently winning on that. And he was, you didn't tell us? I was like, no, we would have gotten in our heads. Like, I'm good. Like, I needed you I needed all of us to be at our best.
That's amazing. So what was your final score?
Minus 14 under. So that's a 58 there, because they're 72. Foxborough Country Club, by the way, local course, absolute gem.
Great course.
Oh, the spot, Bride Guy, you would love it on some holes, and some holes when you would smack it and get the caboose right through the ball, you would hate it, because if you go off on your spot by like 5 yards, you're in garbage. Timmy rolled on a par 5, hit the fairway, rolled into the woods. Out of bounds.
Was it dry?
No, it was a bad hop.
Oh,
Tim on hole 9.
The dog leg right.
Very bad hop. I think he hit the fairway, bad hop, and then just like right into the woods. No ball, could not find it.
Couldn't find it.
Hate to see that.
It was great. Brian, wish you were there. Jimmy was a great replacement. He just hit the ball 240 with his 5-wood no more than 15 feet off the ground.
Oh my God.
And he was a good person to go first.
The greatest stinger.
Watch your shins.
No, literally, like if there was anyone in front of us, we would have had to scream for, because it was, first of all, it was going. Second of all, it was just right. It was crazy.
Were you all
how low it was?
You were all playing well.
Yeah, I think all of us played. Actually, I think all of us played really well. Mike said he didn't play well, but Mike played well. Jimmy played.
Maybe we swap Jimmy in for Mike. Mike's
No, see, this is the best part, because I was telling, and everyone was like, "Who played the worst?" And I was like, "Probably me." And then I was like, "This is the best part about starting the podcast. I can't get kicked off the scramble team."
Right, exactly. Yeah, you are.
I was useless on the putting green, as I have no touch.
I'm telling you, Tim, you gotta play two putters. So Tim's got two drivers in his bag. For everyone who's saying 14 clubs and the scramble, no one cares. No one cares. Right. No one's going around. No one's counting. So Tim has two drivers, and if he's not feeling one driver, he takes out the other driver. I'm wood-based putter.
Uh-oh.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's Brendan that froze.
Oh,
wow.
Well, hello, everybody.
This is the first, the O'Reilly boys. Taking over. We lost Brendan. Oh, he's back.
Is he back?
Oh, my God.
Parents are back. Party's over.
I just assumed it was me, Brendan. I was like, no way.
Yeah, Tim goes, can you hear me? I was like, yeah, it's not you. It's not you this time.
I just had an unreal diatribe about Tim having two drivers and that he should also play two putters. And I was like, wow.
Yeah,
and I was like, you weren't reacting, so I thought that you got offended. And I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, no. No. All of a sudden you blacked out. Last thing I heard was wood-based, and then that was it.
Well, we'll see. Since I'm recording, we'll see if it comes through on that one, or if you guys are just like, oh, that's unreal. That would be fantastic if it doesn't come through. If you guys are just, yeah. So I said, like, you have a wood-based putter that's really heavy. Yep. And so sometimes you're heavy-handed with it. So if you take out the big light guy,
yep. if a lot of times I'm heavy-handed for sure, most of the time. So that might not be a bad idea, Brendan. I need fast greens.
When I'm telling you, it is one of the most beautiful putters I've ever seen, though. Bry Guy, I know you would probably say the same thing. It is a masterpiece.
And the fact that it was handmade by our uncle, who is a woodworker, it puts it even higher.
You can't not have it in the bag. You can't not have it in the bag. You just need the other putter also in the bag.
Right. Yeah. The only time that's, because even if that thing gets chipped or dented, you're throwing another coat on there. You're fixed. Yeah. That's the only time you're not going to have it is if it gets stolen or lost. Yep. or burns in a fire.
That's right. Tim did have one amazing putt though, and I'll set the scene for this. So we had, it's probably my favorite. I think it's my favorite hole at Foxborough. It's hole number 7. Hole number 7. And it's kind of a short par 4. So you have to the middle of the fairway, you've got about 220, and then it's probably, Timbo getting the call?
Nope. Keep going. Oh, I'm listening.
I was about to say this. I don't want you to have to take the call, but when you take the call and you're just like, boys, gotta go, boys. Like, no. That is always a podcast. That is a podcasting tradition, unlike any other. So it's about 220, and then you have 100-yard shot in, or you can go over the trees and smack it, and it's about 275, 280. Tim, I'd probably say, right?
This is an ultimate scramble hole, Bri. It's like I think it's shorter, Brendan. To go direct line, it's like 250 direct line to the green. But if you go around, like the hole says it plays like 375 or whatever it is.
Yeah. So we get up there, and Jimmy
Brendan hit a great drive.
5-wood. It's a great drive. It's a very aggressive drive, but it's a great drive.
No, you hit a great drive.
I did hit a great drive. I was getting to mine.
Sorry. I didn't want to. I was excited.
I tee it up high. I teed up very high, and I'm just like, this has got to go high. and I put it about 10 yards off the green. We had to yell 4 because we didn't know the guys were still on the green, and we saw them walking off as as the ball was going. So I started screaming 4. So they ran to their carts. I felt bad about that. Michael gets up, and Mike tries to hit his absolute banana. I'll call it a banana fade, but Mike has this amazing fade that he tries to hit when he overswings. He has this like amazing hook, and it was a thing of beauty, and it just got caught, and it just hit a tree, and it goes boom. And then Tim goes up and he hits it into the backyard behind the green.
Too far.
A little too far.
Your rocket ball fairway wood, I'm assuming.
No, I should have went with that, but I teed it up high.
It's an elevated green too. So it's also an elevated green. So it plays like 270, I would say. Like it plays about that.
Yes, you're correct. And you have to hit it over the trees all carry. You have to hit it up.
So
perfect for Brendan's ball flight. Perfect for his ball flight.
Perfect for my very high ball flight. It was amazing. Yeah. I felt like a god.
Yes. Immaculate drive.
And then we all messed up our chips, and then Timmy hit a 30-foot putt for us to take home that bird. So unbelievable putt from Tim there too.
Score 1 for the Woody. There we go. That's pretty huge.
Patrick Marcy.
Yeah.
You know,
wood rubbed the right way.
That's right. That's a slogan, Brendan. He used to have a guitar making company, and he said Morrissey guitars, and it said wood rubbed the right way. That was the slogan.
We definitely, we used to wear those T-shirts around as kids, which is hilarious because we didn't understand it.
Holy Jesus!
We didn't understand it. Hysterical.
Imagine you guys going to like the Newport Festival or anything like that, just wearing those. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Bonnet Shore wearing those. Shore's
we'd definitely attract the wrong crowd.
Yep.
Or the right crowd. I'm not sure. Right. But that's awesome. I'm happy to hear you guys took home the dub. I'm happy for you all. No Blazers as a prize. No jackets.
$75 to the pro shop. 75. I still have mine. I got to go back. I got to use it.
Yeah, it doesn't expire at the end of the season.
It does not expire. It expires in like May of 2023. I think it's.
What are you gonna get? Like a pack of balls, dozen balls, gloves?
No, definitely not clubs. It's only $75.
No,
I'll probably get like a pullover or something like that. I think they just didn't have like great ones that day, but I'm sure I could order one too.
I feel like that's like 75. I'm thinking long term. I'm gonna need a glove. I'm gonna need balls. I'm never need. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's what Tim did.
Tim got two
gloves,
2 hats. So we got one for you. You got one for the bride guy as well. I don't know if I spoiled a birthday party or a birthday.
No, not a hat. Not a hat. Don't tell him what I got him, but it wasn't the hat.
I won't. But we got you something. We got you something since you couldn't make it. Well, Tim got you something. I wasn't that nice.
Super sweet. I didn't get you anything in Hawaii, so I'm sorry.
It's all right. Hey, just know that the fire to win the blue jacket has not gone away because we won this one. Not
even close. Those blue jackets are ours.
So when's the next scramble?
That's what I'm saying. So listeners out there, so I know Mikey's playing in one 2 weeks away with his boss, but listeners out there, we know that scramble season and golf season is coming to a close. But if anyone has anything they would like to invite the Duffin Up boys, we will pay in full. We will get there and we will ask 2 questions.
Yep. A question.
Yep. A question.
Where's the first tee and what's the course record?
Where's the first tee and what's the course record?
And how much are mulligans?
And how much are mulligans? And who cheats the most? Because we have been very lucky. I think we've been to we've played together in 2 scramble events, and neither have been like cheater scramble events.
Right. Correct.
And there are some events where like I remember us talking about it with John on here. Shout out John Panone, by the way, of Spargo Golf. Legend. First episode ever to get 100 downloads. So thank you.
You must be you must have a sign up at the shop.
Probably, right? Hey, we got to go. He wants us to go to the shop too, so we got to do that.
But I need him to fix my 6-iron.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Get some new groove. I'll just bring over wedges to be like, can you sharpen these grooves? Do you know how to do that? Can you show me how to sharpen grooves? Lord knows I need to spin these balls back. But so with that, there are very, very big cheating scrambles. Like he was like at one time he said that him and his group shot 17 under, a 17 under, and they lost by 4 shots. I don't know if you guys remember that. Someone shot 21 under in a scramble event, and that's when I'm just like, no, you didn't. No, you most certainly did not.
Right. How many hole-in-ones? How many hole-in-ones you got? How many mulligans?
So you eagled every par 4. Every par 5. You eagled every par 5, and you birdied every par 4 and par 3.
That's mistake-free golf. Not a single.
That's a perfect round. Perfect round.
Literally. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I don't know if you could do that.
I am playing in a scramble on Saturday with my buddies from college at Pembroke CC. It's a charity tournament that we play every year. It's for the Adam Salhaney Foundation. My college roommate Peter Salhaney, his brother passed away, so they put together a memorial tournament. So a bunch of us college guys like to put a foursome together and play every year. So I'm pretty pumped. It's at Pembroke CC. I don't know if either of you have played there before in Pembroke, Mass. Beautiful course. It's actually owned by Jeremy Roenick, the former NHL player, local guy, but he owns the course, and it's fantastic. It's 12 o'clock on a Saturday, so noon shotgun start on a Saturday, prime spot. Yeah.
Will you get it in? I mean, the sun is going down.
Yeah, and it's supposed to potentially be rain around 5.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to get the remnants of Ian
that
week.
Ian, hey.
Ian.
Hurricane Ian.
He's hitting. He's going to be tropical storming on Hilton Head coming up, so that's going to be upsetting. But
batten down the hatches for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, hey, at least shout out to everyone in Florida right now. I hope everyone's doing okay. That seems horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers.
But yeah. So that's awesome that you are playing in a scramble, but and Mikey's playing in a scramble. But if anyone has a couple extra areas that they want to go ahead and tell the Duffin Up boys, hey, come on in. Where's the first tee? What's the course record? We'll be there. Yep.
And do you think cake would be more offended to be called a pie, or a pie would be more offended to be a cake? That's the other question we're going to ask.
Yeah, that's question number 3. Sorry, we have 3 questions. Right. Where's the first tee? What's the course record? And do you think cake would be more offended? That's the greatest thing we've ever done. That is, I am shocked that like out of all the videos that I cut up, like how has that not gone viral on any social media yet? It's upsetting. It's incredibly upsetting.
Brian, are you in or out on carrot cake?
I'm in on it. I think I like it more because it's always readily available at our household. I feel like
my dad loves carrot cake for breakfast.
My dad loves it. And does he love carrot cake, or is it one of those things like grandma like just we peg him now as a carrot cake guy and we bring it to him all the time?
I don't know.
Because Brendan, my dad has a hilarious thing where he doesn't like orange foods. Like cantaloupe, he's out on that just because I don't know if it's because it's orange, but he just the foods he doesn't like to consume tend to be orange, but he loves carrot cake. So I think he's backtracking on this.
To be fair, carrot cake is brown. The actual color of the cake is brown.
True.
Something I love is they always put the little carrot, like the frosting carrots. That's great. Yeah. Like no other dessert does that. Like blueberry pies, you don't put little blueberries on it. Like any of those kind of things.
We should. When Duffin Up if Duffin Up ever goes under and we turn from Duffin Up podcast into the Duffin Up pastry podcast, which may actually happen, seeing as how for the last 4 episodes, half an hour of the pod has just been about delicious desserts and pastries.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea.
Don't hate it at all.
Good.
Oh my
fallback.
God. With the Trill Boys, we just went down the rabbit hole of dessert, snack. Like it was one of the best. It was one of the best.
I still haven't finished that episode because it was a long one.
It was long. Yeah.
And we
Yeah, it
are
was
caught up
long.
on the desserts conversation currently in where I'm at in the podcast.
Yeah. We
like last 30 minutes.
that is our second longest podcast behind our boy Ryan Murray from the Tee It High pod. That is our second longest podcast, and it was a doozy. It was a doozy. Absolutely loved it though. Speaking of loving stuff that doesn't love you back, or speaking of things that people don't really, I don't know if it got like a lot of love this year, but we'll go back to golf and talk a little President's Cup that probably none of us really watched all that much.
That's my President's Cup introduction.
I was so more interested in like just the presidents, like actually being there, like seeing Bill Clinton and George W. Bush there. I was like, wow, that's cool. And just like seeing people like how close they got to people, and like they're retired, they're living life, they're still presidents. I mean, they still got Secret Service following them around, but like you see all these professional golfers and they're famous people, but then you're like, all right, but that's a president.
There's been president, 46 of you.
Yes.
Which is, it's kind of funny because like same with like their prime ministers too in other places, like where you're like president, obviously 4 years, maybe 8 years if you're lucky. But then, yeah, you go back to just being like a civilian. Obviously you still have like Secret Service and stuff, but like, it's so bizarre to have like, it reminds me of like the Masters or like any tournament where you have like all the masters returning to one room and like meeting, and so you'll have all the current living presidents in one room, and it's just like every day, as opposed to like the Queen, who is the oldest reigning I guess queen, or just any kind
monarch
in
general.
Yeah, in general,
70 years,
which is like funny because like she never was back to a civilian. Like she joined in at an early age and was there the whole time. So it's not like she's always been a public figure and like this famous person, whereas like presidents obviously are famous people too now, but like less so. Like they're just like it's not as like seeing a current president is so much crazier than seeing like an old president. It's kind of a funny thing.
Yep.
I also
Completely
didn't know
agree.
that the President's Cup is it like, I don't know. I didn't correlate that with actual presidents. I thought it was
No, me neither.
Yeah, I think it was started by George H.W. Bush. I think that's why it's called the President's Cup.
Makes sense.
It's like the Ryder Cup. Like, is it the Ryder Moving Company? I don't know what the Ryder.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't.
Yeah, those radio flyers. I think of radio flyers. That's different, Ryder. But yeah, it's too.
I actually have no idea why it's called the Ryder Cup, which is great.
Is it Samuel Ryder? Like one day he's going to be a Ryder Cup hero, and they knew it.
It's like the Solheim Cup, named after Solheim, the ping guy. It's like it.
Yep.
Trying to look
Ryder,
it up.
hardly knew her.
Yeah, that's kind of the ultimate. What's his name? That guy's the comedian that says that joke. He's in Caddyshack. He's in Caddyshack.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, isn't that a Rodney Dangerfield joke? Isn't that the?
I don't know. I don't know actually.
I think it.
Wow,
I mean, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice hat.
Yeah, nice hat. Oh, would you get a free haircut or a bowl of soup with that haircut?
Free bowl of soup.
Home of the gangster. You know, we were putting the other day. I was in another scramble for the fire department, and someone, my buddy, he kept saying, "The Dalai Lama." He kept saying it as we were putting. I could not stop laughing.
That's
He's
great.
like, the Dalai Lama would love that. It was pretty funny. Pretty funny. Something you don't think of, the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, it's one of those quotes. Bill Murray, just immaculate. Yeah. I'm waiting for him to show up in my life randomly, as he shows up in everybody's life randomly. Just
true.
Isn't it insane? Isn't it insane that like he'll just like he's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, except he's 1 degree of Bill Murray, and by 1 degree I mean he just will stand right next to you for no reason whatsoever, and then Just be there.
Yeah, I mean, he looks, he has a distinct look to him. I don't know if I know anybody that looks like Bill Murray, but he also has the tendency to blend in with the crowd and just look like any other old guy.
But that's true. I'm wondering if he's going to pop over my shoulder right now, or we're going to go on a call and he's going to be there.
Imagine. I think it'd be
unbelievable.
I think it'd be weirder if he popped over Brendan and I's shoulder in the privacy of our own home, but nothing's out of the question. But Brendan, did you watch any of the President's Cup?
So I will be completely honest. I watched 0 of it on Thursday and Friday. Especially once they went up 8-2, the US. I thought then my boy.
Uh-oh. Is that him?
Became an absolute superstar.
B-man, I think when you get super excited and like loud, you just your screen keeps pausing.
My connection is unstable again. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's when you become unstable, your connection becomes unstable. You get all worked up.
Valid points. Valid points. Valid
I
points.
love it. Try to say everything you were about to say, but in a more hinged way. You're getting unhinged a little bit.
I was. As everyone knows, each of us on this podcast have our favorite Korean golfer. And my favorite Korean golfer just happened to be Thomas the Tank Kim. And Thomas the Tank Kim just decided to be an absolute superstar this weekend.
Yeah, he was nice.
And
really good.
Absolutely. Him and, of course, Mr. Siwoo shaking that ass, Kim.
Siwoo
shaking that ass.
That is definitely the most personality we've seen out of Jordan Spieth. That is
the only personality we've seen out of Jordan Spieth.
It's hysterical. It's such a good clip.
But Siwoo Kim, Tom Kim came alive. Basically, it just turned into like the South Koreans and Sebastian Munoz versus the US. And they did pretty well. They came back. Trevor Immelman, I got to give him major credit.
That's a name. That's nice.
Able to galvanize them after being down 8-2. They came back to make it 11-7. You knew it wasn't going to happen, but that's okay. Max Homa for the US side, amazing, 4-0-0. Kevin Kisner didn't do anything, but boy, did he was like, they only put me on this team so for the after party. I was like, next time just be
big clubhouse guy.
Vice Captain Kiz has a great ring to it as well. Imagine him as like just the locker room guy. They say like Fred Couples is now like basically going to be the vice captain for everything because everyone says he's just an absolute locker room glue guy and amazing. And I'm like, okay. Also, flashback to that time where I said that Fred Couples never made a Ryder Cup team, and it turns out he made 6 Ryder Cup teams. So you know, that was also a Brendan bad right there. That's what happens when Brendan doesn't get fact checked.
I love that. The more people you add to the pod, the more fact checked you'll get. Against people.
Brutal, absolutely brutal. No.
I think my favorite story about Fred Couples is the reason why he doesn't wear golf gloves. Are you guys familiar with that? Why he doesn't wear a golf glove when he golfs?
No.
So Fred Couples back in the day, I think when he was coming up as maybe an amateur or just like first year, maybe college or amateur coming up, he was at a bar or something or a restaurant and at a diner, and he like was ordering, just eating, and the bartender or the waitress was like, what's going on with your hand there? Because he had the meanest like golf tan line with it from his golf glove. And so he said like since then he never wore a golf glove because he was,
you didn't want a tan line?
He was embarrassed by the golf tan line. Isn't that awesome?
He got absolutely shamed into not wearing a golf glove. Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like the least surprising because he's so easygoing that it's like surprised that he even considered wearing a golf glove back in the day. I feel like it's like he's all natural.
His hand must be just one giant callus.
Yeah,
just one enormous.
But no tan lines. That's
true.
No tan lines.
That was important to him, so I love that.
Maybe that's why people started taking the gloves off after each shot, just for the tan line.
I mean, I would do it. I would do it off because I get sweaty.
I do.
Bingo.
I do.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I do it for sweat. But also the tan line too. It's important.
I never even think about that.
Mm.
But I think about that with a hat. That's one of the reasons I don't wear a hat. It's because I don't want a tan line on my head. Huh.
I know, like
Now
the Patrick Reed tan line.
Yeah.
The Stewart Sink. The Stewart Sink. The Stewart Sink is always amazing because he is the baldest man in the world.
Yeah,
and
that's
he takes
true.
it off, and it is tan, white.
It makes no sense. Like they obviously wear the hat when they're golfing, but they're also like millionaires. So in there, I know they're going on lavish like beach vacations. Why are they still wearing a hat? You got to work on that tan. You should wear a neck gaiter up to here and just only tan this part. Even it out.
Keeping it out. Yeah.
They just need some tips from Carlos Boozer and just paint their head. That's all they need to do from back in the day. Just paint your head. You'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a good look. That's for sure a good look.
Right. No, Brendan just said Stewart Sink is the baldest man in the world. And that statement seemed outlandish at first and seemed ridiculous at first, but you might be correct because once you reach a certain point of bald, you can't be any more bald. So he is. So there's like about 45 million people who are all the most bald people in the world.
Yeah, we're obviously not bringing in other, actual like medical diseases like alopecia or anything like that.
Of course
not. But boy, he's bald. Like he is.
This picture I'm looking at is tough. It looks like he's wearing like one of those bald caps like that you wear to like as a costume to. It looks like the Six Flags guy. That's tough. But speaking of having money and baldness, I mean, I'm not bald shaming anybody, especially not our Lord and Savior Tiger Woods, but he can afford plugs. He doesn't care. He does not care. He's got to keep that hat on, though. It's tough.
Yeah, he's got to hit the hat.
Tough to look at. I mean, LeBron did it. He fixed his hairline.
Did he?
Took a while.
Yeah.
Took about a year and a half.
I mean, it's still pretty high. I mean, I'm not one to talk. I have a huge forehead, but it's like we're not one to talk. Our hairlines aren't great, but Tiger, man, you like either keep the hat on or do something.
The best is when he also has like not just when he has the goatee as well, and it's like it's almost like maybe you should just like take that and put a little, kind of straighten it out up there, make it look all nice and good. But yeah, it's the spot in the back has grown significantly over the past 5 years, I would say, for LT Gray.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's something about that Nike hat on his head. Just it's almost like it's a part of him.
I was gonna say, meanwhile, John Daly, full head of hair, amazing beard.
Yeah.
What else can you do?
And probably
lifestyle.
Probably down yonder as well.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
Oh jeez! Oh jeez!
Oh God!
Oh Peter!
Oh man! Well,
go ahead, bro.
I mean,
anyway, speaking of down under, Greg Norman
God. We don't even need to talk about LIV Golf. We don't even need to talk about LIV Golf this week. We don't even. We will.
There's a lot of bullet points on the show notes. I thought you wanted to get into it.
Well, the problem is that everything now is about like literally now with the off season, like everything's about it. And this was just a big week with that stuff. I just wanted to say, as much as I appreciate the President's Cup trying to be, and it's not like a junior Ryder Cup or anything like that, but as much as they are trying to make it the same, it's just not, and it's really sad. And unfortunately, like Tim and I talked about last week with our friend Ryan McHugh, LIV Golf destroyed the international team, destroyed it with them not being able to play anymore. They would have had 6 guys at least from LIV. So that kind of sucks. And we bored Brian, and Brian decided to leave. Oh man. But yes, we do have some points on LIV. Quickly, Phil Mickelson took his name out of the lawsuit.
Yes, he did.
Very surprised. Really not that surprising because he's been kind of pointing at it for a couple weeks. Right. He, as well as Ian Poulter, Hudson Swafford, and Taylor Gooch all took their names out. Taylor Gooch, I thought was going to die on this hill. I thought Taylor Gooch was going to go full villain and just be like the last guy along with LIV Golf. Like I expected Taylor Gooch to go full villain and he decided against it. So good for him.
Yes. So it turned out to be a better tournament than we thought. And obviously it was a blowout, so I didn't really tune in the first couple of days, and then it started getting not close, but like just like it wasn't a complete blowout. But then by the end, we were like, all right, this is a blowout. But it was still exciting to have that the way they set that course up. Brendan, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they took 16, 17, and 18 on that Quail Hollow course, and they moved it into 13, 14, and 15. Just because you know how like on a match play,
the 18th was not the normal 18th, which I was kind of mad about if I'm being completely honest, because I love Quail Hollow's 18 with the river cut and right through it. Like I freaking love that.
Right, but they put that as the 15th hole because they thought people would finish there a lot, so they thought it would come in because obviously the 18th hole doesn't come into play on a lot of things. So
I think 16 would have been better. I think 16 would have been better for that, but you never know.
Okay, that would have been good.
The Green also Mile, love that we went from President's Cup to LIV Golf, then back to President's Cup.
Yeah, I was like, sorry about that. My apologies.
No, you're good. There's no problem.
Oh shit!
Our listeners are going to be so disappointed that we jumped around, and then they're going to go back to their normal lives.
Yep. Oh shit!
They'll be pumped that we followed back. We looped back on it.
They did. They're very happy that we lose. I will say though, so they wanted the 18th, they wanted the 18th in the tournament, which a lot of times you're right. Like it doesn't go to 18 holes. Like people finish 2 up, people finish 3 up. I just missed it being the actual 18th hole. And like when I saw what the 18th hole was, I was like, oh man, really?
Yep.
I was like, this is such a bad 18th hole. Like, it's just not the 18th hole. So, and if I say 18th hole one more time, people are going to go nuts. So I'm not saying it again. But anyways, I just think I understand what they're trying to do with it. I really enjoyed like the comeback. I thought that was awesome. Like it finally felt like, because if the US would have blown them out like crazy, it might have spelled the end of the present. Like legitimately, they might have been like, all right, I guess we're done. Like, would have been bad.
I agree. Brendan. All right, so now back to LIV.
We lost Brian again. As soon as we get back to LIV, we lost Brian.
That's funny. But I'm kind of in on just like following LIV now, just to see what's going on, and it's interesting just to see how it transpires. And I do like the lawsuit thing, people dropping it, like you said, just kind of like you can't have your cake and eat it too. I mean,
yep.
If you chose LIV, you chose LIV, and whatnot. I mean, I'm sure in the near future, Brendan, you disagree with me in the Masters, but I think the Masters very soon is just going to let all players in, no matter LIV, PGA Tour, and I think it's just going to be majors are going to be the majors. It's going to be even more better because when you think about it, majors are already awesome, but then when it's the only 4 events that PGA Tour players and LIV players are playing at, I mean, it's must-watch TV. Must-watch TV. I mean, we're already watching them anyway, so who the hell knows? But we'll see what the average fan likes.
Yeah, I have that. I mean, I don't have any inside sources because we don't have inside sources because I'm doing the podcast from my basement, and I'm not a golf insider. But this is just an opinion that may have a little bit of backing to it. But what we heard a lot from Phil and from Bubba and from the guys that have won the Masters, basically saying, well, if they don't want me there, I don't want to be, like Phil being like, I fully expect to be there, but if they don't want me there, that's their choice. Like, I have a feeling that a lot of them have already been told, like, you're not coming. Like Phil last year was told, like, you're not coming. No. So that's why I'm thinking that way. I think the US Open and the Open Championship are always going to have the opens. Like, I feel like they're always going to have open qualifying, everything like that. But I don't think they're going to change, because then they're not an open. Like, you know what then they're not a true open.
And anybody can play.
Yep.
Right.
Danny Woodhead almost qualified for the U.S. Open this year. He played football.
That'd be cool. Well, but athletes are just athletes. Athletes
I know.
are just athletes.
It's crazy. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the PGA definitely not. Like, the PGA, it's already the worst out of the 4 majors anyways, but they're definitely not going to let the LIV guys play. So
yeah, they don't even wanna.
Braga guy, thoughts since you're back?
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to go back. I had to pee so bad. I apologize. Throughout the whole workday, I'm just chugging water. I'm staying hydrated, and so it was building up. So I appreciate. I wasn't leaving because of LIV, though. That's how I feel mentally. Is I check out when it turns to LIV, because I don't know enough and I don't care enough, because it doesn't affect my day to day. But in regards to the Masters, yeah, I do agree with that. I feel like, if anything, the past winners will potentially be able to play, but it's going to be tough to be able to invite those who haven't won and are on LIV, I guess.
That's my thing, though, is the past winners have been the most vocal about, like, well, if they don't want me there, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, when Bubba said that about Augusta, I was shocked, because that means that, like, yes, it came up in a question, but I feel like no one would answer it that way unless they already had, like, someone reach out to them and basically be like, yeah, we're most likely not going to let you play.
Yeah. No, I think they're going to have to let him play, because think of all the people who aren't going to be able to play at the Masters, like Patrick Reed, DJ. You're telling me Augusta wants to leave all of those people out? I mean, yeah, we want to leave Patrick Reed out, but Hideki Matsuyama, not Hideki Matsuyama, but you know what I mean. DJ.
I was about to say, do you know something that we don't know yet?
No.
We got another LIV signing?
Not Hideki. Not Hideki, please.
So you're going to have, what's his name? What's the guy's name who wears the suspenders?
Oh, Sandy Lyle. You leave Sandy Lyle alone.
I know, but like, you think the Masters wants to have Sandy Lyle playing over Dustin Johnson, and that is nothing against Sandy Lyle. I love that he plays in the suspenders every single year. And but they gotta have DJ. They gotta have Patrick Reed. Who else are we missing?
Bill, Bubba.
Bingo. You gotta have
Danny Willett, although he's on the PGA Tour still.
All right, we could do without him.
I want Danny Willett to go to LIV.
That was the most disappointing winner when he won. No offense, Danny Willett, but man.
Yeah, it was like when Webb Simpson won the U.S. Open. It was just like, okay.
Yeah. It's so weird to see Danny Willett in the Masters champions photo every year. It's so bizarre. He's so out of place. I don't think he talks to anybody.
Things is not like the other.
He definitely doesn't talk to everybody.
Doesn't add
up.
Yeah.
Charles Schwartzel not going to be able to play.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Louis Oosthuizen
never won it. Only one major. You won the 2000.
St. Andrews.
Yeah.
St. Andrews. Yep. Charles Schwartzel not going to be able to play. Imagine.
Be crazy.
Like not having Cam Smith, even though he's not. I mean, he's
not a winner, but boy, do I miss Cam Smith. I love the way he plays.
No, he's the one guy for sure that I think he's the biggest miss. Like, I go back between him and DJ, because like I actually like DJ was always great to watch, but DJ's now 38, 39.
He's up there. I think he's probably 39, yeah.
Let's double check. Dustin Johnson.
Nope. Fact check it.
38. 38.
Ooh.
Wow.
So 38. So he was getting up. I mean, again, like that doesn't really matter, because Phil won a major when he was literally 50. So it's not as big of a deal as it used to be. But DJ I always loved watching. Cam Smith I loved watching. I mean, I still watch the LIV Tour events, so I love watching them. But yeah, very interesting stuff. kind of sad, but I do think they're also going to look into changing up the exemptions now too. Like other majors, you may like I just think there's going to be something, because I think last year they didn't have time to plan out, because it was just like, well, if you already qualified, you already qualified. We can't really kick you out. Because remember, LIV didn't start until the week after the PGA, 2 weeks after the PGA Championship, right? Because DJ played in the PGA. A bunch of guys did.
Yeah, the big one is U.S. Open was the one that was like riddled. Like that was the big that was like the U.S. Open was the time.
Yeah, and they didn't say anything until Tuesday. Like literally, like the day before the guys were about to tee off, they're like, "All right, you can play."
Make them sweat.
Yep. But yeah, so we'll see, man. We'll see. I don't. Again, that's not insider baseball, but
Nope.
I just have a feeling that's something. I feel like Augusta would be the one, minus the PGA Championship, because it's run by the PGA of America, and you have to be a member of the PGA of America in order to play in it, or another PGA sponsored, and they're not. And so because once they go to LIV, they lost their PGA, their PGA status as well as their PGA Tour status. So blah, 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 everything like that. Yep.
I think it's more likely that people play at the Masters than at TPC Sawgrass, the Players Championship. I mean,
well, they won't play at the player. They won't play at the Players.
Yeah, that's easy, but just like think about it that way.
You see, they swapped out Cam Smith's parking spot at the
They did.
Players.
Really?
Very petty. Very petty.
What did they replace it with? Didn't they replace it with like head ground?
Yeah,
or something?
golfers only, like professional golfers only.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Absolute, the Thomas of all petties right there. Absolutely brutal.
That's tough.
Oh man.
I just love the thought of the maintenance guy going out there and cranking the wrench and replacing the sign, just being like, he probably wasn't in on it. He was probably just like, damn, just one more thing.
Okay. Sounds good. Just do it. Oh man. Well, boys, Tim, we got a golfer poll this week?
Oh my God, I didn't even think of one.
Oh, that's okay. We'll save it. We got two great guests coming on next week, guys. So I'm very excited about them. We haven't done a just Duffin Up Boys podcast in a little while. I do miss these. I've missed these very much. I love having the guests on, but it's always fun when we can do it once in a while where it's just the boys again. Mikey would have been out of his mind still about Foxborough. We'll have to bring, when he comes back on, he'll be all like amped up still about it. So it'll be great it'll be great hearing from him.
Yep.
But yeah, boys, absolute fantastic as always. Very, very, very happy to be here. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Thank you to my mom who listens.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you to everyone else who's out there listening. We very much appreciate it. And yeah,
thank you for everyone in this city for not needing anyone, because we get to do this whole thing and I'm pumped. Now I get to go eat.
Shout out to Warwick, Rhode Island for not starting a fire throughout this entire hour podcast. We are so proud of you.
This has been great.
All right, boys. Great. Let's get out there. Let's duff it up and have a great week, everyone.
Play better.
Yeah.
Play better.